Our first date was electric. Bobbie had this aura, a captivating energy that drew me in. Her laughter was infectious. Her eyes sparkled with a mischievous glint. We talked for hours, losing ourselves in a world built for two. I was smitten. She told me about her bad living conditions. On our first date, said she was staying in an unsafe environment. It felt natural, almost inevitable, to offer her my spare room. As long as you need, I'd said, already picturing her there. Bobbie didn't hesitate. She moved in there that night. Looking back, it was a dizzying pace. We barely knew each other, but Bobbie had a way of making me forget everything else. She filled my world, consuming my thoughts. I was falling, and falling fast.
Bobbie's past was a tangled web of half-truths and vague stories. She spoke of a difficult childhood, a family torn apart. Her last relationship, she claimed, was a nightmare. In fact, every relationship she had even been in, she claimed was abusive, physical, verbally, and financially. Her last ex, a controlling and abusive man, had left her emotionally scarred, just like the ones before him. She spoke of him with a shudder, said he was the reason she had nothing but the clothes on her back. He'd taken everything, she claimed, left her with nothing but the fear in her eyes. I felt a surge of protectiveness towards her, a desire to shield her from the pain of her past. Now I wonder about those stories. Were they real or carefully constructed narratives designed to elicit sympathy? Did she truly experience those hardships, or were they fabricated to keep me close, to fuel my desire to protect her? The doubt lingers, a bitter taste in my mouth. I took Bobbie shopping the day after she moved in. It felt right, surrounding her with new things, helping her rebuild her life. She picked out clothes, shoes, toiletries, her excitement bubbling over. My credit card groaned, but I didn't care. Seeing her happy was worth it. However, a seed of unease began to sprout in the back of my mind. Bobbie's story about her ex taking everything seemed less plausible with each passing purchase. She chose expensive brands, designer labels. Was I being manipulated? The thought felt ugly, disloyal. I pushed it down, burying it under layers of forced optimism. Bobbie needed me, I told myself. I was her rock, her savior. But the doubt, once planted, was difficult to ignore. It festered, growing stronger with each passing day. Section 4, the elusive belongings, delay tactics and red flags. Weeks turned into months and Bobbie still hadn't retrieved any of her belongings. What few there was from the last place she was staying. Each time I brought it up, she'd have a reason to delay. She was busy, her friend was out of town. She wasn't emotionally ready to face the memories. Her excuses were starting to wear thin. The more evasive she became, the more suspicious I grew. Why the secrecy? What was she hiding? The questions gnawed at me, fueling my growing sense of unease. One evening, while Bobbie was in the shower, I noticed her purse lying open on the kitchen counter. A small, worn notebook peeked out from the side. My hand moved instinctively, drawn to it like a moth to a flame. I knew I shouldn't, but the temptation was too strong to resist. Section 5, Unveiling the Truth, a cache of love letters. The notebook was filled with letters, love letters, but they weren't addressed to me. Each one was penned in a different hand, each professing undying love and devotion to my dearest Bobbie. My stomach dropped. The blood drained from my face. Panic surged through me, hot and suffocating. Who were these men, and why did Bobbie have their letters? The room spun, the walls closing in. I felt betrayed, foolish, used. The woman I thought I knew, the woman I was falling for, was a stranger. The letters slipped from my grasp, scattering across the floor like fallen leaves. I stared down at them, each one a testament to Bobbie's deceit. The world tilted on its axis, my carefully constructed reality crumbling around me.